When we were little, my brother and I spent a lot of time with our Nana. She was always full of joy and laughter, baking for us, giving us an endless amount of sweets, singing, crafting, and cooking together with us. We had the most amazing times with her. My granddad had died before my brother and I were ever conceived, and Nana never married again. I'm not sure she ever even dated anyone. Not for lack of opportunity, though. My Nana was a beautiful, elegant lady. She truly always looked effortlessly stunning and will forever be my role model. Since our parents had to work a lot and most likely also wanted to enjoy some time without their unruly twins, we spent weekends and most of our summers with Nana in her cottage. A beautiful little house with a thatched roof and flower pots in the windows, surrounded by a huge garden with all kinds of flowers, herbs, fruits, vegetables, and trees. Nana grew everything there. She even had chickens. For us city kids, that garden and the cottage were a playground. What we enjoyed most, though, were her stories. When it was cold, the three of us would build a blanket fort in front of the fireplace and huddle together with hot chocolate and biscuits while Nana read from her big red leather-bound book. The stories revolved around princesses and princes, fairies, gnomes, and all kinds of fantastical beings. Also, they always had a happy ending. 2 years ago, our beloved Nana fell sick, and even though the doctors tried everything, they couldn't do anything. Her life had reached its end, and my amazing Nana died. Our whole family was distraught. I think I've never seen my mum in more pain. In that moment, I, a grown woman, understood for the first time that my Nana was also my mother's mother. After Nana was gone, none of us spoke for a week. It was too much. We kept her cottage and gave her chickens to a trusted neighbor, but couldn't bear to set foot in the garden or the house for a year. Nana's absence ripped our hearts open every single time we tried. 3 weeks ago, I decided to give it another try, especially since I'm thinking about having my own children soon with my fiancé. I really wanted to see if I could find Nana's storybook and share these magical stories with my own kids. I arrived at the house, opened the garden gate, and felt that familiar pang of sadness. I will never get used to her being gone. I made my way to the garden, biting back tears, and into the house. The door creaked in the way it always had, as did the floorboards, and I avoided the worst offenders as if nothing ever happened. I started looking for the book and found it very easily. It lay on the kitchen counter, a letter on top of it. I was sure we didn't place it there after we left last time, and I was also pretty sure that I was the first to come back. Yet, in the moment, I thought nothing of it. I looked at the letter and saw my name on the envelope, in Nana's cursive. I could have sworn the ink still looked wet. My darling granddaughter, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and you're looking for my book, and I'm glad you are. I have a sinking feeling you'll need it. Please take it with you and keep it safe, so it in turn can keep you and our family safe. I was taken aback. This was definitely Nana's handwriting, but it didn't make sense at all. It sounded like she was being deeply sincere, but it seemed so odd. Regardless, I took the book, carrying it out of the house, tightly pressed to my chest. The leather smelled like Nana's perfume, and it felt warm to the touch. Holding it was strangely comforting. When I came home, my fiancé was still out, and I contemplated reading a little, but then just put the book away. I decided to heed the letter's warnings, so I tucked the book into my sock drawer. I felt I had to keep it a secret because if I told him, my fiancé surely would want to look. That couldn't happen. The next day, we were invited to dinner at a friend's place, but I feigned a headache and encouraged him to go alone. I needed to read. Alone. My heart pounding in my chest, I took the book out from underneath my socks. Gingerly, I then placed it on the kitchen table, sat down in front of it, and opened it. The first words read, "Good afternoon, Ella," she read, with her heart pounding in anticipatory curiosity. I glanced up and said to myself, "What the actual fuck is this?" I looked down again, still there. It wasn't like the words were appearing there. It looked like they had always been on this page. But how? Frantically, I tried to remember if there had been an Ella before me in our family. Was it a coincidence? A week ago, I finally got a chance to look at the book again. This time it gave me instructions. Basic ways to keep yourself protected. To protect yourself from fae, make sure you have iron at hand. It is also advisable to have salt and silver at the ready in case ghosts, werewolves, or other unsavory guests show up in your house. It feels like a fever dream. I followed the instructions to a T, and the feeling of being watched disappeared. Though the book is surely a very strange thing, reading it is strangely comforting. Or it was, until I opened it this morning. There was only one sentence, bold in red: "Run or he will hurt you." The text hasn't changed since this morning, but it keeps getting darker and more distorted, almost like the ink is running, almost like letters written in fresh blood. I have no idea where to run to or who I'm supposed to run from. What do I do?